Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, July 31st. This would be day 16 in the Big Brother house. And, so last time I talked to you guys was yesterday, like I said. And we had just had Angela talking to people about Quinn having a possible power, or someone having a power, not mentioning it. She actually told Tucker that Quinn was the one with the power. I am not sure if I knew that when I talked to you guys yesterday morning or not, but it was, she indeed did tell Tucker, or right up to his face. And I think Quinn's aware. I don't know if I think Quinn is now aware that she's doing this. I'm not 100% sure. What I do know is that now today, yesterday, they talked, Tucker and Angela talked a couple of different times. And in the end, again, late last night, Tucker told Kimo about this theory that Quinn had a power, and Kimo actually confirmed it to Tucker. So Kimo and Tucker confirmed it, and I believe Tucker confirmed to Kimo that MJ has a power. I'm pretty sure. So at this point, I believe both Kimo and Tucker are now aware of the two holders of power in the house, the actual legit holders of power, which means that now Tucker knows that Lisa doesn't have a power, but he still doesn't like Lisa, so he still wants her out. So yeah, it makes an interesting development in that Kimo specifically told Tucker we have to protect Quinn. By the way, Quinn. Yes, I say Quinn, not Quinton, as I said multiple times yesterday. Protect Quinn because he's on our side. So, and that got me to thinking. As I saw that this morning, because I was not awake when that happened. Well, I was kind of awake. I was in bed, and I rolled over, and I pulled up my phone for a second and saw that Tucker had told Quinn. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this happened. So I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go back and watch it later. But, yeah, that did happen. And you may notice some weird pauses again today, because I do still have a cough. Like I just took a pause right there. But that made me thinking alliances. You know, I had the Razor Skates alliance that I went over, that alliance that I assume I assume that's a he. I think of Razor Skates as a he, and I know that Dolphika is a she. But I could be wrong about Razor Skates. Razor Skates could be a woman. I don't know. Not that it's important to anybody but my own little brain here. Anyways, I went through Razor Skates alliance map from a few days ago, and like I said, seeing that Kimo was saying to Tucker, we have to protect Quinn. Okay, there you go. You got those three. You know, Kimo is bringing Tucker in. I did not see Tucker as a strong alliance member with anyone in particular, but Kimo seems to be pulling him in, saying we have to protect Quinn, which would imply you're a part of an alliance with Quinn, right? And we know that Decor is part of that, as part of an alliance with Quinn. And so you're starting to get a little bit of a. I'm trying to get two sides of a house here, and I don't really see two sides of a house yet. I don't. There's still quite a fluid group of people. It hasn't divided itself out yet. Other than Kenny seems to be kind of on one side, and MJ kind of seems to be on a side too. And then Angela's kind of on her own. And again, Lisa. And even Leah, I guess. Maybe if I had to say Leah and yeah, it's those people are people that I don't see as in a stronger alliance. If I'm looking at the alliance map here, or not the alliance. I'm looking at the house guest pictures here, and I'm trying to sort them into two different sides, which is not really, again, it's not the case. They really aren't in two different sides yet. However, they are starting to give a feel like they could be potentially. And it's easier to throw out the ones that don't have strong alliances, in my opinion. And if I look at the ones that I don't see as having super strong alliances, I'm going to look at Angela, Kenny, Mackenzie, and Leah. She's talking with the women. Some of the women are kind of grouping together, but those alliances are always questionable, I guess. And then there's that Pentagon alliance, which Brooklyn is a part of, but I don't see Brooklyn as a part of many alliances or having many one-on-one connections. But it could just be my viewing and my paying attention, and I'm just not paying as much attention to Brooklyn. So it's hard to tell right now with so many bodies. I will say that once the eviction happens on Thursday, again, that will force them to solidify a little bit more. I would anticipate that as of right now, I think Lisa's going to go. I think. I just think that she's seen as a stronger competitor. And now that Angela is running around talking about the power, they may try to control that a little bit more. Now that Tucker knows. And Tucker says I'm working with Angela, right? So I don't know if Tucker has talked to Angela since Kimo confirmed that Angela's telling the truth. Excuse me, but if Tucker's right, and if Tucker hasn't, I would anticipate that Tucker would now go to Angela and go like, you know what, I believe you, I understand, you're right, and so you need to believe me that you're safe, right? And so he may suck her into a bit of an alliance with her to kind of say, let's work together kind of a thing, even though I don't think he trusts her as far as he can throw her. I think he'll be willing to kind of try to keep her calmed down, because she's willing to throw Quinn's game under the under the bus. So it's interesting. Yesterday I was a bit ranty about the fact that the alliance has been outed, but now, look, got to accept that. With Tucker and Kimo working together, that's an interesting group. Now, Decor is also considered kind of a part, but I think that I'm just waiting to see. I assume that Decor will get brought into this fact that Quinn has a power, but maybe they'll hold it back because it'll be like, you never told me, why are you telling me now? Or why should I trust you because you wouldn't tell me until now? But the fact that Tucker knows it makes me think that, it makes me just suspect that she'll get looped in eventually. But maybe not. And Joseph, I want to say that Joseph's in those alliances, a part of that mix, just because I like Joseph. I'm just not sure how solidly he is in with people. He seems to be a little bit of a lone wolf that's liked by people. I just don't know where he solidly aligns right now. And I say that knowing I should check some alliance maps and kind of glaze my eyes over it, kind of get a feel for it, but I haven't. But it's all right. We're doing okay. Yesterday was a pretty slow day in the house. The house guests got locked down very early. I mean, like, pretty much they were locked down all day. So the house, the backyard is shut down, obviously in prep for Thursday's show, which would suggest a big scene, a big set, right? Could suggest some type of endurance competition, possibly. I guess at this point, if they're going to do a phone booth type of competition, they can probably do that in the basement. I think that's where they did the one last Thursday. So they had the backyard, right? They weren't locked down as much last week, and they have been locked down this week now, all day yesterday, and today they'll be locked down. So they're doing a whole 2-day full lockdown. So the fact that they were locked down yesterday provided less opportunity to connive and get together and gossip. I did notice something, by the way, as I'm picturing in my head them doing all these things. They they don't spend as much time, in my opinion, in the what I would call what was the comic bedroom last year. I believe that's where that floating bedroom is, and also the main bedroom, the main bedroom that they walk through to get to the other two bedrooms. They don't seem to spend a whole lot of time in those two bedrooms socializing, whereas last season they would spend time there. Part of it's because the beds are not as easy to get in and out of. That's my thought. They do spend some time in the Fairyland, Unicorn, Flower bedroom, whatever you want to call it. But again, it's more laid out flat. But none of those three rooms are nearly as conducive to hanging out and talking, it seems to me, as they were last season. Which is just an interesting observation. Interesting to me, at least. So they've been spending more time, well, I mean, they just don't spend as much time in those rooms, and they spend time in other rooms. So less space, in my opinion, to collaborate, conspire, and so there hasn't been as much whispering going on yesterday as the previous day when they had more space to get around to. That being said, there was a moment where Angela, looking to get her digs in on Lisa would be in theory, taking the high road between Lisa and Angela. And Angela's the one that's kind of doing the digging. But some would say that Lisa, by quotes, taking the high road, which is bouncing around and being, super energetic, and that alone just annoys Angela, and Lisa probably knows it, right? So there was a moment where Angela was walking towards the kitchen, and Lisa was heading the opposite direction, and Angela just totally did an imitation of Lisa being bouncy and happy and excited, and walked right by her with a big bounce in her step and a big grin on her face, and you could tell that Lisa turned and looked at her like she was, doing an impression of her, which she was, mocking her. But they didn't say anything, and it bothered Lisa, and she talked about it later. But at that moment, the camera angle, as the account Feeds Fairy pointed out, it had a very The Office look to it. It was just that if you're familiar with the show The Office and the way the camera work happens, it had that kind of a camera work where it kind of did a cut, kind of focused on someone in the background doing this weird take and expression. And I saw, as soon as they said it, I couldn't get it out of my brain, and so I was thinking about it last night, and I quickly put together a little video where I found the theme music to The Office, and I didn't realize the theme music to The Office is only 30 seconds long, but it's only like a 32-second opener. So I took that 30-second audio music and made a quick little video to The Office theme, just of the house guests walking around the house doing things, ending with this shot between Lisa and Angela, which is actually quite a long shot in 30 seconds. So anyways, I posted it. It's gotten a lot of activity. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, you might check it out. It was very quickly put together, and I say by very quickly, probably an hour and a half, right? So, because nothing is quick, because I had to scan through clips from the previous couple of days and then select just brief seconds and put them together. Anyways, making videos is a lot of work, and that was it's amateurish totally, but even that still takes a long time. So I put it together. People enjoyed it. Maybe you've seen it. Hope you enjoy it too. So that moment happened. And then they did charades, and I think they just did impressions, but they just did a few things. That was the extent of yesterday. There wasn't a whole lot. There's stuff going on. There's talking and stuff, but it's all, heading towards one direction, and I just am not seeing it. It's not fleshed out yet at this point, and so I'm not going to dwell too much time on stuff other than to kind of give generalities until I see specific things happen in those specific moments. Like, Cedric is doing stuff. There's stuff going on. He's in the mix, but he's kind of in the mix with a lot of people. Cam and Leah were flirting again. So Tucker and Quinn had a conversation. I posted this too. I saw Tucker talking about Leah flirting, and Quinn was commenting on how I can't anytime Cam and her are in the room together, you can't get a word in edgewise. He was commenting on it, so he's noticed it too. So and I guess Leah's flirting with Cedric as well. And I'm not bashing Leah for flirting. I tweeted something yesterday that a couple of people kind of took offense to, like I was criticizing Leah for flirting, and it was more of that's her game, and it's not even total flirting again. It's just her interacting with the male house guests. It's her way of playing the game, and my point was to say that some of the guys have now seen that. They've realized it. They're not, just kind of like, for a while I thought Quinn was totally oblivious to the fact that she was doing that with all the guys and that he wasn't anything special to her. I thought he thought, ooh, I'm going to protect her and I'm going to, because she likes me. But he's now seen through that, and he's kind of like, yeah, that's just how Leah is. And it's not in a bad way. I just got to be aware that that's how Leah is. And Tucker is completely aware that that's how Leah is. Whereas potentially Cam is like still that kind of like, ooh, I like her, and I think, and could be susceptible. I'm not sure where Cedric falls in that list. So, yeah. Anyways, so where do we stand now? We're one more day yet still before the eviction. We would have called yesterday Flip Flop Tuesday, and today is Waffle Wednesday. I have to say that I think the house may go with getting out Lisa. It seems like that could happen. I think Tucker's safe. I do think Tucker's safe, but I think the house could go with Lisa unless Angela really does something to dig her hole. And people have been trying to calm her down to not annoy people. That was what Tucker was saying. You just need to stop annoying people. Meanwhile, Lisa's been getting counsel as well, like MJ telling Lisa, don't push yourself on people, kind of thing. If people don't want to do this, don't do this. She's been trying to tell her to stop being so annoying in a nice way, but Lisa doesn't seem to necessarily pick up on that either. So she's still, again, in the annoying neighbor fashion, is Lisa. She yesterday said, let's have a fashion show or something, or a costume or something. It's like, no, nobody really wants to do that, but she's just like, let's do it. So that's Lisa. All right, folks, I am getting close to my destination, and I'm looking at my list of house guests. I'm not going to give you a rundown of house guests or anything, but just to say that, yeah, it's, one other thing, Kenny. Kenny, again, yesterday said he doesn't know if it's worth it. He doesn't know if he wants to stay, and yada yada. And it's an old broken record and it's annoying the fans because it's like, why are you here if you don't care? If that's his game play, if that is his game to keep telling people I don't want to be here, it's annoying to the fans because we think he's seriously, if he doesn't want to be there in some ways, and it's just annoying. It's like, don't cast someone who doesn't know the game and just seems to be like, oh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. That's the thing, that it's like he's not that interesting to watch on the feeds, and so it's like, why are you there? You're taking up a slot. And you don't want to be there. And now someone that's interesting is going to go home this week because you saved yourself with the power of veto, but you really don't want to be there. So yeah. That's all I got for today, for a Wednesday. Maybe something will happen tonight, and something exciting. I don't know. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to be Lisa. There will be an episode tonight. Don't forget that. And other than that, I'm going to wrap things up. And a shout out to my new patron. Had a new patron sign up yesterday. Angela is her name. I have multiple Angelas that are patrons, and I do not judge you for having the same name as the Angela in the house. Not that you probably care, but I was like, wow, I've got at least two Angelas that are patrons of mine. So thank you. And I'm happy to say that Angela is probably not going home this week. I'll take Angela for another week. I'm okay with that. I don't think of her in a horrible way. And that was another thing that I tweeted yesterday or the day before. It's like the people that are freaking out about Angela, being a bad person. It's like, folks, she's not a bad person. And there's been a lot more difficult people on Big Brother in the past. This is very mild compared to what we've had in the past. So chill out, folks. All right, with that, now I am signing off because I'm parked. I'm going to go into work and have a wonderful day myself, right? I hope you do too. If anything major comes up today, I'll talk to you guys later. Otherwise, I will talk to you tomorrow. And again, thanks for being supporters. If you do want to be a patron like the Angelas and everybody else, you can go to patreon.com/BBGOSSIP and sign up. And I did post my video of yesterday's podcast later in the day than I expected, but it is there. If you want to watch me do this instead of just listen to me, you can check that out. Otherwise, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Yep. Again, goodbye. Take care. Bye.